All right, we are back.
What's
How back are
up?
we? How back are we?
So back. What's up, man?
We are so back that it's already been so over since the time we were so back, but now we're back again.
Is it over? No. No way.
It's been over for a lot of people recently.
Yeah,
It's
what
been
a
a
brutal
lot of
start.
bodies in the street right now.
Yeah, like the last 2 weeks have been just painful.
My goodness. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to old listeners who have been thirsting for the return of the Irresponsibly Long podcast. And welcome to our new listeners, of whom I hope there are many. It's been a while since we
7 months.
recorded this.
7 months.
7 months, yeah. Yeah, what a time. What a time. I mean, that was a fun time in my life. Basically stopped doing the pod because thought the bull was over and sold the top, but then rebought the top anyway because I'm stupid. And then
And
had to make it all back this fall on the election trade.
then you
But
did.
I did. I did. So many things have happened. We've got the orange man in the White House. We've got AI in crypto, which has already gone through an entire bubble, entire cycle in 3 or 4 months. So good times there. I'm assuming you didn't participate in that one, Eric.
No, I kind of like I mean, since Irresponsibly Long ended, I kind of got out of the shitcoin game. And I think I'm like very comfortable now being a guy who like doesn't play in that realm. That was a stressful sandbox to play in.
Yes, still is a stressful sandbox for sure. I've been not sleeping since November. Um,
What else is new?
We're trading on leverage. We're trading meme coins and AI agents in the trenches. It's been a hell of a few months here. My goodness. So we're recording this. What is it? Monday,
Yes.
January 13th. Do you know what happened this day
On January 13th? No. What
in
happened?
2017?
17. No, I was just a young lad back then. What happened?
You were a young lad. You know what is the strangest thing? So I remember the 2017 bull run very vividly. But what I don't remember in my brain is Trump being associated with it. Like in my brain, Trump wasn't the president back then, but he
Right.
was. In 2017, Trump was in the White House. Was he inaugurated then?
Yeah, because I kind of
Did
like
you get inaugurated
associate
the year or the year after?
I associate Trump with the euphoric bull run of like the 2020, 2021.
Yeah, so 2017, January 13th. It was a week before Trump's inauguration. We were about to kick off one of the craziest bull runs. I mean, I guess we haven't had that many, but a very crazy bull run. ICO mania, just like the advent of shitcoining. And on January 13th, the market bottomed. That was the bottom of the crypto market. And today, as we record this, I mean, we had quite the day today for those of you who were following. I don't know. Were you following the markets today?
Yeah, but I'm only following like the majors. I see what's going on in Bitcoin and ETH land
But
pretty
even the
much.
majors, right? Even
Yeah.
the stocks, dollar. I mean,
It was a weird day because like the stodgy stuff, like the Dow's up 400 points or something, and all my shit's down because I'm like invested in like tech stonks.
yeah. I mean, we opened the day down bigly. I mean, we opened basically we opened the week, like Sunday night, right? That's kind of when the week opens. Asia markets open. So basically, this week, soon as the week opened, everything just went cliff diving, just straight down from the weekly open. Had some friends panic texting me just like straight off the bat. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a good one. I think a lot of this was driven by the dollar has been quite the roller coaster.
Yes.
So I think we got a new thing here. Let me see if I can figure out how to share my screen. There it is. So yeah, dollar has been kind of wreaking havoc on risk assets. It's basically just been going up only for a bit, and this is due to mainly, I think, concerns with the orange man. What's he going to do? He wants to enact tariffs, cut spending, dollar bullish. Pretty bad for risk assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not good. But this dollar chart looks kind of tame. But something like the Ethereum chart, the the king and redheaded stepchild of all altcoins, kind of shows you what happened today.
Goodbye.
Yeah, let's like clear those drawings out for you. Yeah. Yeah, we had a hell of a move. I mean, I don't know if you see this, but like from last night to this morning, solid 12.6% nosedive. And then we kind of V reversed up. And do you know why?
No, what caused that reversal?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I was doing a live stream this morning to the new Magic Lines premium group, and just trying to keep everybody from jumping off of a building because
God.
I'm bullish and bearish, depending on the asset and the timeline. It's been a very difficult environment to trade in for sure, especially passively so. But one of the things I was saying to people is like, guys, we're just one tweet away from a massive bull run, just one tweet away. And I said this on the stream, and I closed the stream, and I kind of walked away from the computer, and then I got back to my computer, and everything is ripping, and I just opened up Twitter, and it's just like a freaking litany of of bullish news here.
Was there a tweet? Was there actually a tweet that caused this?
There was
reversal?
a lot of stuff going on. I mean, yeah, the Watcher Guru account kind of had like a live stream of a bunch of this. I mean, we had Trump expected to issue executive orders related to crypto policies on his first day in office. That was a pretty big one. What else did we have here?
What does that
We
mean?
had then the SEC got smacked down. Court. The U.S. court demands SEC explain itself for denying Coinbase's request for regulation. That came right in on the ticker tape. Then we had Donald Trump's inauguration will feature tech leaders in a crypto ball honoring him as the first crypto president. So
Holy shit.
it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny how price action works, right? It's like
Dude,
price dives at a specific time, and then just right when it's about to go to heck, it's like, oh, the bullish news comes out, and look at that, we reverse.
I'm actually like zooming out quite a bit now. To when was like the crypto bear market? That started like end of 2022, I think. And I remember being at your house with like David Hoffman and the Alfalfa Boys, and it was like it was time to panic at that point because like crypto was about to go into like a multi-year bear, and I like sold all my Ethereum at like 3,200, and which was like a really cozy place to be when Ethereum dropped down to like $800. But now when I think about it, like really like amidst what you were just describing, it's like the world has really shifted. The landscape has really shifted. ETH's at 3,200 now, and like this feels just so freaking bullish. And like I feel like the price is the same, but like the fundamentals have moved forward leaps and bounds.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about like the price of Ethereum now versus like the backdrop, right? Versus like all the various times Ethereum has been at the same price. Even just like a year ago, right? It wasn't that long ago. Just in the spring, there was no ETF. Never mind like ETF plus Trump presidency plus the president like buying Ethereum and buying tokens on Ethereum. I mean, it's been kind of wild, right? But people just feel the way that price is. Price is down, so people are down. But it's not even like all prices, right? Like Bitcoin is $94,500 right now.
Right. Right.
And I think it's gonna maybe close the day green here. Yeah, we're only down 0.1% on the day now. And like I woke up and people were hurling themselves off virtual buildings, basically.
God,
So
I love this actually because like Bitcoin seems to be pretty much maintaining, right? If it's at 94,500, that to me is like a pretty solid number amidst like a backdrop of like the US government is talking about selling the Bitcoin that they hold, that they confiscated. MicroStrategy was saying that they couldn't buy for the beginning part of January, which I don't know if it's true or not, but they're kind of like in a blackout period supposedly before.
Just FUD
Yeah,
everywhere.
so much
Like they
FUD.
the government Bitcoin FUD was so funny. We can just like pull up the Bitcoin chart here and just like look at the FUD. So it's been quite an adventure for anybody who's been following these markets. And I had a hell of a week last week. It was a great freaking week for me. Because I nailed some moves, Eric. Nailed some moves. So we started the year with like a turbo pump off the lows on Bitcoin. I mean, we turboed to 103K right off the bat. And I was in the Discord like, do not fucking buy this pump. You sell everything.
Okay, that's a great call. That's a great call.
And not only did and it was great. So I got out of a lot of stuff. I sold my whole virtuals position and I shorted it
Wow, that's a flip.
at like 420. Shorted Solana, amazing. Because then, like, literally, this was like a, this is like the same day that we launched the new Discord. Like, made a video, called a top, shorted everything. Next day, everything dumped. I'm like, hell yeah.
Okay, can we talk about that real quick? Because like it would be very nice if audience members could get access to these amazing calls you had.
Yeah. So for people who haven't been following, Magic Lines now has a premium Discord. You thought I put out a lot of content before. Now I am just spewing content all day. We're dropping videos, dropping trade ideas. We got entries, exits, done for you trades, good trades, the best trades.
And where can people join? Where do people go to join this?
Yeah, so we're doing like kind of like a entry early bird thing for the early listeners of the pod. If you go to, what is it? Yeah, magiclines.xyz/IL. The IL is for irresponsibly long. So if you go there, use the code IL75 or IL800, depending on a monthly or annual, if you want that. Hefty discount, healthy discount. That is a lifetime discount. Just giving this shit away for free.
Let's
Just
go.
absolute gold. Let's fucking go. But back to the Bitcoin chart. This chart is just like pure fuckery to me, right? Because they pull it up, get everybody excited, then they dump it, right? And then just to start this week, like look at this move. It's so funny. Just like yoink and back up again. This shit may look like pure fucking random nonsense, but there's actually like a logic to this madness. We talked about it a lot in the live stream this morning. Kind of had a nice deep educational moment on people for like what the hell this shit is. But the TLDR of all this is like I'm pretty bullish Bitcoin. Like I think the Bitcoin chart looks really good. Really good. And I did buy a bunch of Bitcoin at like 93K ish. I don't have a ton of cash left. I still have a little bit of cash, but like I'm on the Bitcoin train, man. And my kind of high level way I'm thinking about a lot of stuff right now is like Bitcoin is the king. I'm thinking about maybe just like denominating my entire crypto portfolio in Bitcoin and borrowing like 10 or 20% against it to fuck around with altcoins. But like just this is like the blessed asset. Like I think there is a gigantic coordinated effort now to basically use Bitcoin and stable coins to sort of like enshrine the supremacy of the dollar. Like I can see what's happening. I see what Trump's doing, what he's saying, who he's surrounding himself with. Like I think this is what they're doing. And I think you're just going to see stable coins everywhere to sort of propagate the dollar. And then like Bitcoin strategic reserve, ultimately, I don't think that's going to happen quite on the timeline people want it. But this is a way to like enshrine the dollar and just basically blow up all of our enemies who are using gold. It's just like a nice like double whammy. And then we will get rich following this trade. Unfortunately, it will probably also destroy Bitcoin because it's just going to be just horrifically captured by the government and BlackRock and all that. So that's
But number goes up.
kind of
Number will
depressing.
go up. That's okay.
Yeah, number go up, which is what people want. But I think a lot of people who listen to the show probably are a little still too much in like altcoin la la land. And there will be altcoin opportunities, I think. But I think the bar for outperforming Bitcoin is just so freaking high this cycle. Like I think Bitcoin is like I think Trump wants 7-figure Bitcoin. I think he wants to leave the White House with 7-figure Bitcoin. That's more than a 10x from here. And like if you think you're going to do 10x trading, like I mean you for sure can do it in crypto, but it's not like an easy bar. It's not an easy bar. A lot of you are probably better off just buying the orange coin and logging off.
Okay, so if he you're saying that you think he believes 7-figure Bitcoin. What do you believe? Because in the Alfalfa Discord, it was before the new year. I think Max or somebody was taking a poll from various users on where their prediction was for Bitcoin at the end of 2025. Uh, I saw the outcomes were we're sort of in the like a pretty modest range, somewhere between 120K and like 250K.
Yeah, it's a pretty wide range. I mean, that probably covers most of the possibilities.
Well, it's not 7-figure Bitcoin.
Yeah, but I'm saying 7-figure by the end of the presidency, not 7-figure by December. Like, could you give it a second?
Okay, yeah, right.
The lack of patience is remarkable in this world.
Well, I
People
hold
just,
calls, man. I need that shit to happen fast.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, my MicroStrategy might end up being kind of like the trade of this. But like last time we did the podcast, I feel like Coinbase was the trade of the podcast. You know, maybe we had a little stint in the Bitcoin miners, but like Coinbase, I feel like was really the trade of the pod. I think still a good trade. Chart still looks really good. I want to talk about MicroStrategy more maybe in another episode because like I still have like a lot of thoughts I want to get on to the page for it, and I feel like maybe we've already hit that point, but we're like maybe at this like inflection point where this becomes like a really, really freaking interesting thing to trade. I have like a small position in it because like I think it's interesting and I want to own some. But we can stick a pin in that for another. I think when we do the show now, we want to be a little more focused moving forward. Obviously, this is the first time we've been back in a while, so I think it's fair to do a little bit of a catch up, a little bit of a temperature check. But moving forward, I do want to like have a lot of kind of nice condensed actionable intel in this show. I want us to each kind of come to the show with a couple trade ideas, talk about those trade ideas, tell everybody to have a nice day, log off, go on with our lives, because you and I have a tendency to talk a lot and
Once you get us going, it's hard to
producing a
stop.
lot of content these days. I know it's just such a fun world, man. It's so fun and terrible at the same time, but pretty fun. You said you didn't really participate in the AI bubble, right?
Yeah, right. I like I guess I haven't yet, and I think my thought process behind that was kind of just like that I didn't see like a fundamental reason to buy these things because I'm typically pretty long-term oriented. So like I prefer to buy and hold and forget about it and just like in a few years see that it's made a lot of money. And I don't think that the crypto AI stuff qualifies for that type of investing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I think the other side of that coin is you compare AI crypto bubble to DeFi crypto bubble. You know, people were doing this in December, and I was like, this doesn't sound too good. And then we nuked pretty hard, obviously. But I think that idea is still pretty sound, and I feel like the whole AI crypto market cap is like at least a solid 10-15x away from that point. So I think it's definitely time to be examining the smoldering wreckages of the stuff that's out there, um,
So
to
some of the
see.
some of the favored ones were like virtuals and AI.
I feel like virtual and AI 16Z are kind of your consensus, like 1-2 plays. Like people were very high on BitTensor, Tau for a while. I don't own any. I feel like it's kind of turning into the Ethereum of AI at the moment.
Oh God.
not in a not in a good way. Um, so yeah, I think you could take a few approaches to the market. One is you just kind of buy some of these, maybe two or three of these quote unquote majors, and just go back to your life, or you just dig around in the trenches. And I think the AI trenches are going to be where people find these, like, 100x, 1000x gains. Though they're definitely there somewhere out there. There are multiple 100x's right now, guys, just sitting around in the AI trenches. And it's probably a good time to do it because, as we alluded to earlier, I mean, virtual just has been nuked so hard.
How much is it down? I haven't been following this at all.
Yeah, I mean, virtual as of this morning was down 60% from the high, and that was January 2nd.
So it's down 60% from the high in like a 2 week period.
Yeah, not even.
Wow,
I
that
know.
is a nuke.
Swift, brutal move. You know, people who've been in the Discord, even the Alfalfa Discord, know that, like, I was kind of eyeballing this 255 level to buy. I had some bids set this morning at this low here. Or is it 221 or so? But hoping that is like a pretty good buy. This thing could definitely keep going lower. I don't know. You could kind of average back into these positions, I think. It's a weird market right now because I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. But the way I've been kind of like dealing with this is to be like very long Bitcoin, but to be just like shorting the crap out of other stuff. Like I've shared like some panic porn charts of Solana where it's just like it's very hard for me to pull up the Solana chart and see like why this thing is not going to go to freaking. I need a clean chart. This chart is a mess. It's very hard for me to justify this chart not going to run the election lows at a minimum, which is like 155 or so. But I do think there's like a worst case scenario where this thing just gets wrecked and goes back to double digits. I mean, it looks freaking terrible, honestly.
Well, in that world, like in the world where Solana is double digits, you imagine like Ethereum is getting bludgeoned as well, right? Like those things kind of all trade in a tandem. I wouldn't say tandem, but like along the same beta to one another. They're kind of like,
Yeah, I still hold out hope that Ethereum can kind of recover and do something interesting. I mean, Ethereum's kind of getting towards the bottom of its Bitcoin range. It's been going through just years of beatings, right? Whereas Sol is maybe just cresting the top of its Bitcoin range and maybe in for years of beatings.
okay, I could see that. Yeah. Like if Bitcoin surges and has another leg higher, goes to 125 and then maybe continues going higher, I do think ETH then rides in that wake and continues and
Yeah,
hits an all-time high.
just I just like I just like the higher time frame Ethereum chart, right? I just think it's just like it's just a giant triangle, man. It's just a giant triangle, and I think it's going to break out of this triangle, and it's going to break out of it to the upside, and it's going to go up a lot. It's just going to take a bit. I mean, like historically, this is around the time of year where Ethereum has ripped, right? And we know how crypto is. Like we saw it this morning. It was all over at like 9 a.m. And then 2 hours later, all the technology had improved greatly. And everybody was super bullish, right? So all this thing has to do is go up, right? The number just has to go up. And the people are like, oh yeah, of course, Ethereum.
Yeah.
Great
I mean,
technology.
I'm
It's
definitely
so
like,
obvious all along. Did you not long it?
yeah, I'm thinking of this as well because I've come around to this notion that like price moves and then you assign a narrative after the price move. It's not vice versa. It's not like the
Hmm.
narrative drives the price.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking like what we talked about initially is like the dollar strength. I think there's other macro factors at play in addition to that that's like kind of stifling Ethereum and like risk assets. So it's like global liquidity has been coming down at the same time, dollar
Hmm.
strengthening. So like liquidity in dollar terms is even weaker.
For sure. And I think it's important to remember that like we haven't had an alt season. Like, yes, we've had these pockets of alt outperformance, like select alts, but like if we pull up like the Bitcoin dominance chart, there's no alt season here.
Right.
When is this thing like this is alt season? That's party time USA right there.
Yeah, right.
That's alt season. Tell me where the hell's alt season? Does this look like alt? People are like, see this wick? People are like, alt season, boys. Does that look like alt season to you?
No.
No, no. It
So
looks like
this,
slightly more pain season. I look. Here's what I think is going to happen. Probably doesn't happen this way, right? Because the world is complex and things don't play out this way. But everything to me looks like a kind of one more move kind of thing. Like it looks to me like Bitcoin dominance makes like one more move up here. If I pull up the dollar chart, it looks like the Dixie is in the process to me of like putting in this like generational top, right? So I think a Dixie moves higher to, 111 and then just dumps for years. I feel like if you look to 2017, a similar thing happened actually. Like what happened in 2017? Yeah, yeah. So look at okay, so here this is perfect. This is perfect. I'm glad we looked at this. Let's look at what happened in 2017. We were here. There you go. This is basically today, like, but right before Trump's term. What happened? We had a spike up in the dollar heading into Trump's term, and then it just
there we go.
absolutely down only, right? When did
There
this
we go.
stop? This stopped January 2018, which was basically the peak of Ethereum, and then the start of like the bear, and then the dollar goes up, everybody dies, crypto's over, and then 2020 rolls along, the dollar goes down, the technology is improved once again, everything goes up. So I suspect this is just the same thing all over again. A little more spike up, right? And then we party, I hope. I just don't think there's any like Trump, I think, is letting the dollar go up because a strong dollar is like a big club he can like hit other countries with. It's like a negotiating tool, right? Like strong dollar hurts us, right? But it hurts everybody else in the world like a lot more, I think. So I can see a strategic logic behind this. If I'm also the Trump admin and I want to create a strategic reserve, like I'm not going to tell you I'm creating a strategic reserve and then buy it like at like 3K. Like, why would I do that? Like, I could simultaneously beat my opponents with a dollar club. I can scoop up like some cheap Bitcoin or something. And then like I can take office and just make the dollar go down, make Bitcoin go up, make stocks go up, and just be like, look how smart I am. Like, of course that's what I do. Of course.
Okay, so I can see that. So if the dollar keeps going higher, just in like this very near term, like how far down in like if you look at a Bitcoin chart, how far down do you think Bitcoin would go down if we have like this last little leg higher in the dollar?
Yeah. So what I was saying, I'll give you guys some snippets from the live stream today. I see two scenarios for Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin right now looks very clean to me. Like, look at this daily candle we just put in, bro. What is this candle? You see this candle?
Yeah, that's weird.
What is that candle? That is the most fuckery candle I've ever seen. But all this move did is it just kind of this is this like kind of 87 to 93K area. This was sort of like your like if you familiar with like Wyckoff distribution, whatever, you've got like kind of like your preliminary supply, and then there's the buying climax, and then you have like a secondary test, sometimes an upthrust, right? But this to me is like this was like the sort of preliminary hadn't really been tested. This wick down. This looks good to me because this wick just ran like it just runs all this liquidity, just screws everybody. All it's doing is tapping the mid range of this, right? So for me, there's two scenarios for Bitcoin. Scenario one, I think, is this holds, and then we sort of pull like one of these kind of like this is kind of what we did earlier this year was we pulled a little yoinkaroonie and went up, right? Like if I take you back in time to the Bitcoin chart from not that long ago, right? This is basically a year ago. What did we do? We had a consolidation. We had this like fake out move, and then we nuked below, ran everything. Everybody freaks out, and then it just immediately V reverses and goes higher. So it looks very similar, and
Looks the exact same.
sometimes it is that easy. So that to me is scenario number one. Now you might be saying like, how do Solana go to 150 in this scenario? Well, it's because like you have days like today where Bitcoin sneezes and ends the day even, and then like Ethereum sells off like 12% in the process, right? So you have a few more of these hiccup days where you chop up and like alts can still kind of die. And then you also like alts can be on shaky ground, and then you see when Bitcoin just turbos up, and then it sucks all the liquidity, and then everybody bids Bitcoin, and alts die more. It's kind of like a funny thing. I think in the 2021 cycle, it's worth noting that we had a similar thing to what we're going through right now, right? So this is January of 2021. We had this kind of peak. Everybody's being really euphoric in December. And then we tanked like 31%
Oof.
in Bitcoin, right? That was really nasty. And obviously alts nuked at this point. But once Bitcoin recovered from here, this is where alts turbo ripped. Like from kind of mid-January on, like this recovery in Bitcoin, alts just absolutely sent. It was madness. And that period didn't last super long. You know, you had like a couple months of insanity, but those were wild times. So I like to think those times are knocking at our doorstep once again, but I think it's not going to be quite so easy mode this time. I think you have to put a little more thought into the altcoins you're buying, which is why I've been kind of putting all this thought into the AI stuff and like, do I buy back in? And if I do buy back in, what do I buy? Is this over, or is this kind of like, was that the test pump? Because like I can see a world where virtual is, oh, it's done. You guys made AI. You guys rebranded bots to AI agents. Good job, crypto.
Yeah,
like,
basically.
I see that world, right? I also see a world where people are like, oh my god, virtual AI 16Z. These things are L1s for like agents and $100 billion valuation. Like I see that too.
So do I. And
sure.
I think, you know, like I basically just like stopped playing in that game because it's not for me. But we talked about this on Alfalfa in our last episode, I think. This idea that I've come around to is like in investing, you make the most money on two different archetypes. Like one trade that you make a lot of money is when something goes from a 0% probability to a 10% probability, and that makes a fuckload of money. And the other type is when something goes from 70% probability to 100% probability. And I feel like Bitcoin is the latter. It's like it went from 70% to now it's like a certainty that this is going to be a thing in our lives. And then the AI 16Zs are kind of going from that 0 to 10. So I actually do like it from a risk return perspective. It's just not really for me. I'm more of that like 70% to 100 guy.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. I don't know. Like I've bought back into virtual. Think I'll keep it.
I think I would like probably own some. Like my issue is that I agree with you. There's going to be 100 X's within that. But like if I'm not watching all the time, then I'm not going to realize those gains. It's just going to like slip through my fingers.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, man. I could definitely see. I mean, this doodle I drew on AI 16Z kind of lines up with how I can see alts playing out in general. I don't know. I'd been saying like last week, I was like, I think alts need one leg lower, even though Bitcoin was trading pretty strong. It's possible that leg lower was literally today. The one thing to keep an eye on, and this, I think this pod probably goes live that day. I think we'll probably put this live Wednesday. When you're listening to this on Wednesday, that's CPI day. Yeah. So anything anything could happen. I could see a world where there's a cool print and the market's like, wait a minute, Orange Man cometh. Inflation looks cool. Send it.
Right. Or the antithesis of that.
Or the opposite of that, for sure. Like if we get a bad print, like, yeah, all these, like Solana just goes straight to $150. ETH is at $2,400. Like, yeah, like I can see it. I can see both of those worlds, which is why like I am like my portfolio is almost entirely like Bitcoin and Ripple.
What? Ripple?
I mean, Ripple just looks so strong. Like, how can you not trade it? And I'm just trying to be nimble with the other stuff. Like, I guess I do have a sizable chunk of AI again, but it feels better because now I'm buying it like 50% down as opposed to, holy God, I'm up so much on this shit and it could dump at any second. But yeah, it's rough trading altcoins, man. Because like at any moment, somebody sneezes and your whole net worth is gone.
Yeah, it's just a little too risky for me. A trade I like is kind of along the lines of that 70% to 100% probability idea. I think MicroStrategy might apply there. So I really like MicroStrategy here, but Coinbase is to me like a clear winner. Like if Bitcoin's going to win, Coinbase is going to win, and it just seems like this world is set up for Coinbase. We have a nice healthy pullback in Coinbase here. I want to buy uh, Leap options in Coinbase with $300 strike price,
Okay.
and I'm
Okay.
selling.
So
I want
good.
to set up like a three-legged trade on Coinbase calls. So I buy the 300 call, I sell the 600 call for the same maturity. That's ending the end of 2025.
So end of 2025, you're buying 300,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty close to the money, and then you're gonna sell.
Yep,
What are you selling?
600.
600.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
I'm
quite the
saying we're
gap.
not going to go above 600, but we will be above
Gotcha.
300.
By 2025, yeah, makes
Yep,
sense.
yep. And that short leg is covered by your long, so you don't have like a naked short out there. It just helps pay for your Leap options. And another thing that I'll tend to do is I'll short a put out of the money as well at a level that I feel very comfortable buying shares. So like for me, I'd buy the 200 or I'd sell a put at 200 on coin too. Those three
Oof.
legs combined end up being almost free.
200 spicy. I could see us going to 200.
Yeah, me too. And at that point, you'd probably get a little nervous if you don't want to buy the shares, but I want to own shares at 200.
Yeah. I mean, I like this trade. I like we haven't looked at the coin chart in a while, but the way I've been kind of describing the coin chart is like the kind of 60 IQ way of looking at the coin chart is like it's just a gigantic inverted head and shoulders. And then it's also got like a very clean sort of neckline here. I got to make this a better font. Let's go yellow. Actually, I'm going to change that to red so people can see it better. And I'm going to make it thicker. Boom. Okay. So it's kind of clean if you draw it like this, right? You got the inverted head and shoulders, you got the break, and then we're just retesting the neckline here. So that's one way of looking at it. The other way I've drawn it out for people is like this is sort of like your reaccumulation area, and then you have a manipulation here, and then we're in the midst of the expansion right here. And I think the minimum target on this, if you like to do the fib thing, is 455 is pretty conservative, I think. But you could also see a world where this goes to 767, pretty magical number.
That would be magical.
Would love to see it. But the conservative target on that fib would be 520, which is also a juicy number. So yeah, I really like this trade. I think you kind of know when the trade is wrong relatively quickly if you take it. I put on like an options position. I haven't sold any coin shares since the bottom
God, the
down here
fundamentals on coin are so
back
good
in the
too.
day.
Like coin's actually making money. Like for TardFi people like myself who see what's going on in Bitcoin and everything, they're like, oh, well, we actually want to own a business that participates, but it's like a real thing that actually makes money. I think Coinbase is going to generate like $16 of EPS in 2025 is like a forecast that I've seen that like seems to make sense if everything continues the way it is. And at that point, we're talking about like a 20 times earnings right now. It's like it, we're even below 20 times earnings if it's $16 a share.
I mean, coin has to be so juicy under Trump because he likes the organic, fair trade U.S. crypto, and then like coin is just like the epicenter of this.
Definitely.
It's like the golden boy of U.S. equities when it comes to crypto. So
This to me
see
just
all
feels
sorts
like
of ways where this thing can just
feels
benefit.
like Bitcoin in terms of probability. It's just like almost 100% probability of success, and then a higher magnitude than Bitcoin probably because this thing could double pretty easily. I don't know.
Yeah, I like to think so, Eric. I
I'd
like to
like to
think
think
so.
so too.
All right, cool. Good trade idea. I'm going to float a couple trade ideas at you. One of them I think is a very solid trade idea. The other one, to quote Alex Jones, is kind of retarded, but
Nice.
it could be interesting. So let's go with the. Hope my girlfriend doesn't listen to this podcast. She'll be very offended that I
But yeah, you can't use the R
use
word
that
anymore.
word. Let's look at the non-special education trade. Can I even say that anymore? I don't know.
No.
God, I'm such a freaking boomer. What do you say? What do you say? Mentally challenged?
I don't know. I deal with the same issue. I just say the wrong words.
I need more words. Let's look up our boy Uniswap.
The old uni, huh?
The old uni. This was something we talked about a while ago that ended up being a good trade. I remember we pointed out this like mega long accumulation base. Like, hey
Yeah,
guys,
right.
like this is going sideways for I don't know, like 2 years straight.
Yeah.
How bad could it get? And it turned out not that bad. So obviously Uniswap has benefited greatly from the Trump admin and the implications of what's going to happen there. Like when we zoom out on the Uniswap chart, let's go to the weekly chart. I think a lot of our listeners can trade on the weekly chart. I see some equal highs there, right? Nice target. I see the close above, right? So we've closed out of the range. Looks bullish. Looks like it wants higher. And then I see this range here, which could end up being like a very high time frame, sort of manipulation range, origin of the move, whatever you want to call it. Because, and for those of you who are not watching the beautiful visuals of this podcast, you should be. But if you're not, this kind of move here from $12 down to 472. This is like a really critical area because this move, it just wipes out all this liquidity here, and it's sort of the fuel to kind of send us higher. This is kind of where all the big boys loaded up, especially down here in this zone. So this is kind of what I see as the kind of major demand for Uniswap. And what I suspect happens here is Uni just is doing just a little range high retest, right? Just a little bit. So I've been buying. I bought a bunch today actually on this. You can see we actually had a nice little move right off the top of that range today.
Oh, yeah.
Where we bottomed, yeah, $12. I think I bought some. I think I'm in around like 12.30 or so on this. Definitely could go lower. Definitely could go lower. But like this seems like a pretty easy mode trade for me. I mean, Trump admin is coming. We know that Uniswap is one of these sort of like Dino DeFi's, like one of the OG protocols, major utility. It's going to have an ETF, and also it's going to have a fee switch. And what better time to announce the fee switch than immediately after the Trump administration takes place? So I think if you were to get another entry here at the top of the zone, you could probably have like a relatively tight stop on it, around. It's a pretty juicy stop, honestly. I don't think this is a pretty safe stop. So 850 or so, and this gives you a nice little 2-to-1 trade if you roll that way, and that's a 62% move just to tag these highs. And in reality, I think it could just keep going, but potential for 60% in a few weeks. I think
I do like that
because pretty good.
Like imagine that they announce a fee switch. I think the thing moves higher immediately.
Oh, if they announce fee switch, it just runs these highs. And honestly, that's probably me. I probably just exit the trade there. Like, I don't think this thing just goes
Dude, that's exactly what I was going to
mega
say.
high just because the market, like the market knows this is coming. But that little news juice is probably what it needs to go
And
a
like
little
back
bit.
in my crypto heyday, I would have been on top of this, but you can easily run the numbers on like what that fee switch is going to generate for investors, like how much it's going to accrete to investors. And truthfully, I don't think it's that high. I don't think it's that much. But like if it does start generating revenue, that might end up being like kind of a problem in that it's going to have to be valued based on that revenue, and you can't have something that's trading at like 1,000 times sales like forever. It's like it will be kind of capped at some point. I think you would just trade it for the fee switch and then probably get out.
Yeah. On the same page there. So I like it. I like the setup. Buy the pain, sell the news.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hopefully easy trade. Hopefully Trump doesn't let us languish too much when he takes office. All right. So there's the high IQ trade. You want to talk about the really dumb trade now?
Yeah. Let's get dumb.
All right, let's get stupid. So we've talked about AI, we've talked about virtuals. Like you could get exposure to virtuals by buying the token. You can get exposure to virtuals by buying agents. But there's another way you can get exposure to virtuals that not a lot of people, I think, have talked about yet, because it's not something the team has talked about. It's sort of something they did one time and then never spoke of again. But did you know that virtuals has
The drum roll.
land?
There's virtuals land. Oh my God. Are we back doing whatever these are called? NFTs?
We are so fucking back, baby.
Oh my
We're doing
God.
we're buying land again. We're buying land for AI agents. Yeah, here's your dumb idea or brilliant idea for the
These are
quarter
selling for 10
from
ETH?
me.
What the hell?
I think some of these sold for 13 or so last week. Obviously, virtuals has been shellacked, so I'm not surprised to see the land getting shellacked. But yeah, these things are still selling for a hefty margin. Looks like this poor guy bought maybe bought the top and wants to get out, so he's selling for 6.
Do you
Paid
see
10.
a resurgence in NFTs? Like, do you think that is gonna play out? Like, I guess along the lines of this Uniswap.
I think
trade.
in some way, shape, or form, yeah. I mean, so the backstory on this land is they were minted. You could mint this. I think Virtuals as a project has existed for a while now, like over a year. Maybe that's not really a while, but over the summer, when this token was just wrecked, right? The team was like, "Hey, what if agents could own land, and what if agents could do all that?" And then they announced like a mint, and then you could have minted these, and then never tweeted about it again. But the idea, I think, is like very interesting. Like, what if agents could own land? What if agents resided in the physical digital realm and pay taxes, and there were economies? And what if you could own that land? And what if you could monetize it? I don't know.
I remember these.
Stupid idea.
I remember these
Maybe.
narratives back when NFT mania was going on.
Okay, but let's also just run some quick maths on this, right? So there's 100 parcels of land. They're selling for 6 ETH. What is that? 100 times 18,000. So the total market cap of all of this land is $1.8 million.
Very low market cap.
It's fucking nothing.
Yep.
It's nothing. Like, I think other side deeds are still worth like $60 million after being down like 98%.
Brutal.
Like, that stuff was worth, I'm pretty sure that stuff was worth like $500 million at the top.
Damn.
So if virtuals goes back to 5 billion, 10 billion, how much is the land worth? Like, can you squint and say like, okay, the land is worth one of the agents? That's like really, like, the agents are going to be worth $1 billion. Like, why can't the land be worth 500 million? Why not?
I could see also that the agents have value and then the land kind of languishes and doesn't really do much.
For sure. Like I told you, this is probably a dumb trade. It is a trade that I have taken
It's
because
fun.
I
It
am
is a fun
stupid.
trade.
I am stupid, and like
You're in on this. Okay.
yeah, I'm in. I filled my bags, and now I'm shilling them.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is fun. I hope NFTs come back. Not, I don't even have really any, but I just thought it was a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, look, if 100 NFT, that's nothing, right? So the one thing NFTs have in their favor is like the potential like inelasticity to the upside
Oh my gosh, yes.
is freaking crazy, right?
Totally.
Like there's nothing quite like a good NFT bubble to just get outlandish valuations for stuff. So these things are worth like 18 grand right now, but like I don't know, why can't they be worth $1 million floor? Why
Could be.
not?
They could.
Why not?
Man, I got a dumb trade for you. This is like a
You got a dumb one? All right.
yeah, I got
Let's
one
keep
dumb one.
let's keep it going. Let's
Okay,
let's
so
close the pod with some stupidity.
this is dumb. I don't like being short very often. And when I do go short on something, I want it to be on something that can actually go to zero. And I think this
Hmm.
can. But
Okay.
this is also like a meme stock. So being short a meme stock is like the most dangerous thing on earth.
Okay.
So I'm
Sounds
short
pretty scary.
Carvana, ticker symbol CVNA. If you pull up this chart, please pull it up and go back to 2023. This stock was at $4 a share, and it went to $200 or $300 a share. This is like the best performing stock of all stocks since
I mean,
2022.
I have the log chart up, so this doesn't look quite as stupid.
Oh man, this thing was
That
up
looks
like
kind of dumb.
3,000%. Um, so I'm short this stock, and the fundamentals of this are so bad. Like this company is in a market, like the used car market is down 20% over the last year and a half. They make their money selling subprime auto loans that have like the highest delinquency rates since the global financial crisis right now. The counterparty that used to buy these subprime loans was Ally Financial, and they basically stopped buying these. So they started selling their little subprime loan portfolio to independent third party, which is basically owned by their director. So they're like have phony accounting. This stock is up 1,000%. I think it probably goes back down to zero. I think this is like an actual scam.
This stock is literally up 5,000% from the lows.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Why do I trade crypto?
When you could own a used car broker.
5,000%.
I mean, this thing
Wow.
trades at like 100 times forward earnings. Its competitors are like CarMax and AutoNation, and they trade at like a 850% premium on the multiples to their competitors. This thing is phony. I think it's like phony accounting. There was a Hindenburg research report that came out recently. That was like a short report, and that is why the stock kind of pulled back recently. But I think this is a stupid trade because you could get your face ripped off. I mean, it's up 3,000% plus, but I'm short this thing, and I'm selling options against it.
You're a brave man.
I know.
You're a brave
I know.
man.
This is dumb.
I've learned that shorting this stuff is sure, I guess you could squint and be like double top,
This is so dumb. Yeah,
send it to zero.
but I mean, the out of the money premiums on the calls are pretty juicy. I don't think this thing's going to all time highs. It's just kind of nice actually to have like something in your portfolio that you're like rooting for to go down when like everything's going down too.
I hear you.
But this is a
I
pretty
just
dumb trade.
Yeah, because there was a guy here who was like, I've got a short idea, Carvana stock.
Right.
Check this out. Double top, short it into the oh fuck,
Yes.
and 10x, and I'm bankrupt.
Right. Right. That's a dumb idea.
But I mean, I'm sure you could structure it with options somehow, and
Well, you can do like a
minimize
vertical spread,
your
and
risk.
that's a way to make it safe, or at least like limit your losses. But I'm just short, baby. See you on
I
the
mean,
side.
God bless you, bro. God bless you. I guess I don't hate it as a little bit of a portfolio hedge. I have no idea how worthless car stocks are going to do under a Trump admin.
It might be up only like everything else.
Oh, that reminds me. I have some good TradFi shitters for you.
Yes.
I need
Lovely.
to remember to share them next episode.
Okay. Awesome.
But it is in the spirit of this.
No way. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta oh God, I gotta make note or I'm gonna forget.
Okay. Well, I'll make a note and make sure to bring it up.
All right, cool. We did it. We did a sub 1 hour podcast.
I like that, man. It feels good to be back. I feel like this was a good episode. Feels good, man. We're not together in the same room. We're doing this remote, and I think that is okay. It's
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, one of the problems you and I had with this pod is we kind of burned out on it because we were going into the studio 2 days a week and setting up the studio and recording, and we're doing these long episodes and answering a million questions, and like all these trade ideas. And I know that everybody appreciated it, but it wasn't sustainable.
That
And
was a
then
lot.
I died. But I can hop here on the computer once a week and shoot the shit with you and bring a trade idea or two.
Yeah.
And I think that's sustainable. So hopefully people still enjoy this. If you did, please share the episode with a friend. Right, it's the best way you can spread the show. We're mostly hanging out in the free Discord, the Alfalfa Pod Discord, alfalfapod.com. Get the link there. But if you are interested and checking out Magic Lines Premium, snagging one of these coveted lifetime mega discounted early bird memberships, and getting that nice little Magic OG roll with the magic wand next to your name in the Discord, someday you're going to be the only person with that icon. And people are going to be like, wow, this guy's an OG.
Do it.
He's so sick.
It pays for itself. Steven's analysis is amazing.
Yeah, if you're interested in checking it out, again, that's magiclines.xyz/IL, code IL75 and IL800 to grab that discount. And feel free to hit me up on Twitter, 0xmagiclines. Give me a follow. DM me if you have any questions. I don't bite. I'm a nice guy. I'll talk to you. Right?
Love that.
Yeah. All right, bud. Well, I'm going to hit the road. It's been a long day for me here. So I think I might pour a glass of wine and
You deserve it, man.
chill out. I do deserve it. This was a heck of a day for me. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the return of the pod. We'll be back next week. I don't know what the schedule is yet. I don't know. We don't have a video editor. We're just flying by the seat of our pants here. But we figured what was most important was to bring the content back, even if it is in a bit of a shit show of a format, because that's just who we are. That's what we do.
Yeah, bud. See you
All
guys
right,
next
bud.
week.
See you on the other side. Later.